You're taking the time. There's a feel out process. 2 minute round, you don't have time to do any of that. It's like
Well,
now, like, and to do anything, I get I challenge anybody to just go on the bag for 30 seconds, all out. Just go, bap, bap, throw it. Forget technique, just power on the bag and see how knackered you are in 30 seconds. So imagine that kind of pace for 2 minutes. It's a difficult game, very very difficult, and I respect everybody that's in that game. And like I said, obviously Mike Perry's been doing really well, bar his last boxing fight, which is very different. But in the actual BKFC, I believe he's the world champion now as well. Yeah, he's a tough guy.
mhm. How do you get over a situation where, other people can relate to this? They might not be fighting, but they want decisions to go their way in life, and they feel that they've been treated unfairly. Could even be a manager who goes, "You're doing great. You might be top of the leaderboard. Sorry, I want this person to actually. She's my favorite." Like, how do you keep yourself motivated and not take it the other way? Like, I hate this job, I'm going out of it, or I hate this sport, you're not going to have any more of MVP here. Like, how do you overcome that? Because some people can hit failure and go, that's it, it's the end. But you seem to have this attitude, hey, things happen for a reason.
100%, and I guess it's different because it hasn't just been one side of the coin that I've been getting. I have been successful as well. I have had things go my way as well. And I try to be objective from on both sides, and just again just look at the bigger picture. I think some people they have their blinkers on and a bit too me. And I think sometimes if you take a step back and look from almost a managerial position, I always say uh, the manager has the best perspective because he's not in it. He can stand back, and sometimes we have to change and pull ourselves back to that perspective and be a manager, so to speak, um, and just look at things a bit more 360 point of view instead of just your own point of view. And I just try to do that as much as I can, just challenge myself. Um, but then the other side of it is a knocked back doesn't mean the game's finished. You can all there's so many it's too many examples of people that have lost, and then all of a sudden they're going on a killing spree, and now they've blown up and this and that. And look how long, let's say, Masvidal was not he was somebody but not that big. Then he gets one big knockout. Then he gets another big knockout. And all of a sudden everyone's talking about him. Just talking about it. And now he's one of the biggest names in that field just because he had a bit of a run at the right time, couple of amazing KOs. But he's not like he hasn't been KOing people his whole career. It's just that sometimes it's just timing. And if he had given up before, like, oh man, it's not going my way, I'm not getting enough money, not getting enough pay,
Mm-hmm.
he would never have achieved what he's achieved now and
Mm-hmm.
been getting paid and being able to demand what he can demand now. So you always have to, again, ignore being just stropping over, spilt milk. You can always correct it. You can always clean it up and keep moving forward and correct it. That's just my attitude for a lot of things. I already know. I know and I'm confident in my talents. So I know that regardless of what happens here, I'll pick myself back up and I'll come back and then still progress.
Nice. You said in the Mike Perry fight, one of the things that you overlooked was the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of a situation where um, Tyson Fury was going to be fighting, I think, Vladimir Klitschko,
Mm-hmm.
and they were going to call the fight off because they said like the floor was like too springy or too soft or
Mm-hmm.
something. And everyone was like, "Why are you being ridiculous, etc." And he was like, "No, I'm not going to do this. That's what he likes.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect conditions for him."
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree that there are like some tactics that are going on in the background as well?
Boxing more so, um, because again, fighters have a bit more say, especially if it's you're partnered with the organizer or it's your show, so to speak. You're the favorite, blah blah blah. So there's definitely a bit more of that in boxing. MMA, no, not really. It's a lot more difficult to have things your way. But yeah, those things do make a difference. Like an easy visual for me to give people is in tennis, you have people on, is it the gravel, and then you have people on like the
That's
turf. Some people are way better on one than they are in the other. So you see maybe even a drastic, they can play the same person and it be such a drastic difference because of the terrain that they're on. And it's the same for us. Like he's saying if he's not accustomed to such a spongy thing, it's going to sap his legs. He's going to get way more tired way more quickly. Therefore, he puts himself in a lot more danger against somebody so talented. So yeah, he's very right to be aware of these things. Some guys, especially again in boxing, it's down to the gloves. They're like, nope, you can't wear those type of gloves. You have to wear these gloves. And it's always normal. Like our managers and coaches will go into your changer room to watch you wrap your hands. No, we don't. We can't accept those wraps. Even down to the wraps.
yeah.
You can't wrap it like that. It has to be done differently. No, you have to change the gloves. And there's a war that these are things that nobody sees. There's battles and arguments behind stage before you even walked out.
Wow.
So yeah, these things do matter a lot. And you need to have, again, even down to that side of things, you need to have a strong coach, strong team supporting you to make sure things are as much things are on in your favor. For example, there are guys that get to big fights, and I still don't understand how this happens, but they get to big fights. I'm gonna use myself as an example. One of my opponents, my past opponents, who was coming in for the weigh-in, he was chilling on the couch. So we all the fighters to kind of sit down and then one by one go up to do their weight. So this is before the public weigh-in. So he's chilling on the couch over there, and he just like Kush. He had his headphones on. He's just lying down. Da, da, da. So I'm like, yeah, this guy's obviously made weight. I've just finished making my weight, so I'm waiting to go on. I jump on the scales. Perfect. Boom. Bang on. No problem. Go and sit down. Go and start to rehydrate. One of the organizers comes over, speaks to my coach. My coach is like, nope, don't care. Not happening. So I'm like, what's happening? He come over to me. He's like, they're saying that he's dry, which means he's struggling he's not sweating anymore. And he was, it's like 1.5 kilos over. Now, we can, he's obviously, like I said, the fact that I've walked in and he's just chilling and not trying to even continue making weight says that he's like, I'm just going to go to, because you get a 20% pay cut that goes to your opponent. So he's like, I'll accept the pay cut, is what he's going through, because the win means more sometimes. And that weight advantage makes a difference, because when we rehydrate now, remember, I've dropped down a little bit lower than you. When we rehydrate, you're that much bigger than me. So those small things play a part. And my coach is like, we won't fight. And it takes a strong person to be like, we've just done all of this, because not only are you disappointing the organization, but me as well. Your own fighter. Again, if you've got a weak coach and they fall into that pressure of like, oh man, I know you've done all this. I've just made weight as well. Stress and making weight is a headache. Stress my body out, stress yourself out to make the weight. And then he's like, we're not going to fight. You know what I mean? It's like, yep, no, we're not going to fight. And that's it. It's like, all that work that you put in, it's very difficult to say to somebody, especially when the opponent's there. It's like, no, I don't. As a fighter, it's like 2 kgs don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
I don't. 5 kgs don't mean like I just want to fight.
Yeah.
But you need people in your corner that's going to be like, we're not having that. And we made him make that weight. Wow. He sat there, watched him for 2 hours, stressing himself out that much more before the fight. And he made the weight, of course. Had to do it. And obviously, he's going to be that much more flat now. It's actually U-turned on him.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he's obviously accustomed to people just give it like, okay, no problem, I'll just take the fight.
Yeah.
And yeah, these small things are important.
What was the outcome of that then?
Oh yeah, I won the fight. Yeah.
We got the win, bro.
I won the fight. So, but yeah, like I said, it's just, there are some people like to play those kind of tactics. I never understand, unless it's like a really last minute fight. I never understand when fighters, I find it just so unprofessional when a fighter can't make weight. I know how difficult it is to make weight, but if you've accepted the fight you understand the time frame, it's your fault. Regardless of how difficult it is, it's only your fault.
You've had to go through it.
Everyone goes through it. You're doing exactly the same thing as me. And what makes it even worse is in the build up to the fight, because we're getting close now. Let's say even the last week when everybody's now, let's say we're in the States, where both fighters are in the States. There's at some point in that week, you're not going to make the weight. Let's have a conversation. Tell your coach, come to my coach. Look, we're not going to make the weight. You tell your fighter not to stress out. It doesn't matter because we're the ones fighting. So I didn't have to lose that much weight. I could have stayed 1.5 kilos up. We could have arranged because it's not for a belt, we could have arranged a catch weight. And they do that a lot. And so, but you waited for me to make the weight to then tell me. So again, it's like trying to keep those little advantages. And again, you have to have the right